Have you ever walked away from helping someone and felt heavy? Not the kind of heavy that comes from lifting a burden, but the kind that sinks in your chest, like something was quietly taken from you. You offered your time, you gave your advice, you lent your heart, and when it was over, instead of feeling fulfilled, you felt emptied. We live in a world that tells us to help everyone, to be available, to be generous, to never say no. And sure, kindness is powerful. It can transform lives. It can heal wounds. It can build bridges. But here's the truth. No one tells you. Kindness without limits doesn't just drain your energy. It erodes your soul. Because when you give and give and give, without asking whether it's making a difference, you cross a line. You stop lifting people up, and you start holding them up, while slowly sinking yourself. The Stoics understood this. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. You can't control who appreciates you. You can't control who changes because of your help. You can't control whether someone rises or stays stuck. But you can control what you give. You can control when you choose to help and when you choose to walk away." So today, we're not talking about turning cold or selfish. We're talking about clarity, about knowing when helping someone stops being kindness and starts being self-destruction. These are the 7 types of people. You should stop rescuing, not because you don't care, but because you do, for them and for yourself. Let's dive in. When helping turns into enabling, the emotional trap. There's a moment, and if you've been there, you'll know it. When you realize you care more about fixing someone's life than they care about fixing it themselves, it sneaks up on you. At first, you feel like a hero. You listen, you comfort, you give advice, you help them stand when they fall. But over time, the pattern reveals itself. They fall and fall and fall again. And every time, you are the one left cleaning up the mess. You don't just offer a hand, you become the crutch. You don't just give advice, you carry their burdens. And one day, you wake up and think, how did I become more invested in their growth than they are? How did my kindness turn into exhaustion? That's the moment where helping turns into enabling. Let me tell you about Sarah. Sarah was the friend who always lived in chaos. Toxic boyfriend, terrible job, constant money troubles, and a never-ending parade of crisis. I wanted to be there for her. So I answered the midnight calls, offered advice, helped rewrite her resume, even sent job listings. And each time she thanked me, she promised change. She swore this time was different. But nothing ever changed. Same job, same boyfriend, same complaints, and slowly I realized something I didn't want to admit. I was working harder on Sarah's life than she was, and that realization, it hit hard. Because once you see the pattern, you can't unsee it. And Sarah isn't rare. This pattern shows up in families all the time. You've got the brother who's always broke, yet never cuts his spending. The sister who's constantly sick, but ignores every doctor's advice. The cousin who jumps from one disaster to another and somehow always lands on your doorstep. You want to help, of course you do, but helping turns into enabling. When they stop carrying their share of the weight and you start carrying all of it. And here's the worst part. The more you give, the more they expect. The more you sacrifice, the less they appreciate. The more drained you become, the more you blame yourself for not doing enough. That's the emotional trap. The Stoics were crystal clear about this. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." You cannot control their life. You cannot save someone who is committed to staying stuck. You cannot rescue someone who has no intention of walking away from the fire. And here's where people misunderstand kindness. Helping someone doesn't mean removing all their discomfort. It means giving them the space to rise. If you carry their burden, they don't build strength. If you solve their problems, they don't learn responsibility. If you're always available, they never have to stand alone. And you know what's even harder? If you keep rescuing them, you start losing yourself. You sacrifice your energy, your time, your peace. You become so focused on their survival that you quietly abandon your own. Let me say it plainly, you are not responsible for saving people who refuse to save themselves. That's not cruel, that's clarity. That's not selfish, that's self-respect. So what do? You start by seeing the pattern. You notice when you leave a conversation, feeling more exhausted than encouraged. You notice when you're carrying the emotional labor for both of you. You notice when you start resenting them, but keep helping anyway. And then you ask yourself the one question that cuts straight through the fog. Am I helping or am I enabling? Helping says, I'm here to support you as you face your life. Enabling says, I'll face your life for you because you can't. Helping lifts, enabling carries. Helping teaches, enabling shields. Helping builds capacity, enabling drains it. The most radical, loving move you can make in these moments is to step back, not with anger, not with punishment, not with shame, but with calm, clear boundaries. You say, I love you, but I can't carry this for you. I believe in you, but you need to take the next step. I'm here when you're ready to rise, but I can't rise for you. It feels harsh. It feels cold. But it's the only way some people will ever realize what they're truly capable of. Because here's the quiet truth. As long as you are their safety net, they will never learn to climb. When you step back, you don't just free yourself, you give them the gift of finally facing their own strength. So the next time you feel yourself pulled into someone's chaos, the next time you feel the heaviness of someone else's life on your shoulders, pause, breathe, and remember, you are not here to carry people. You are here to walk beside them. They will fall, they will rise. But in the end, it's their journey, and only they can take the steps. That's not just kindness, that's wisdom. The drain game, how they pull you in. Let's talk about Jake. Jake never asked for much, at least not at first. Hey, can you spot me for lunch? Forgot my wallet. Mind giving me a quick ride? My car's in the shop. You help, because you're decent, because you tell yourself, we all have bad days. But here's the thing about people like Jake, it's never just one favor. Soon it's another ride, another lunch, another just this once loan. One day you look up and you're no longer helping. You've become his backup plan. And Jake doesn't live only at work. He's alive and well, online. You know the friend. Hey, can I borrow your Netflix login? Mind sharing that paid app? Could you send me that course link you bought? A week turns into months. They're binging shows on your account, while you're too polite to say, are you ever going to chip in? But the drain game goes deeper than money. That's when you meet Mark. Mark is magnetic, sensitive, always struggling. You're drawn in, late-night texts, long talks, comforting words. He's overwhelmed, lost, broken, and you think, I can help. But here's the truth no one tells you. Mark doesn't want help. He wants an audience. Every meltdown, every heartbreak, every crisis, it loops on repeat. And when you finally hesitate, when you finally pull back, he flips the script. Wow, I guess you're just like everyone else. Didn't think you'd abandon me too. This is what emotional vampires do. They don't need solutions. They need your energy. And today, they've gone digital. Cryptic posts, endless drama stories, private messages baiting sympathy. They say, I'm working on myself. But months pass, and nothing changes. Here's the punchline. The more you give, the more they take. And without realizing it, you stop being a helper and become their resource, their wallet, their emotional dump site, their personal energy bank. And Stoicism, it cuts through this noise like a blade. Seneca said, "We should give as long as it does not harm us, but we should not give to the point of ruin." Help is noble, self-sacrifice is not. There's a line between helping someone stand and carrying them forever. And here's the brutal checkpoint. Ask yourself, are they growing or just using me to stay afloat? Is my help lifting them or letting them sink deeper? The hardest word you'll learn in this game is also the most loving: number. Not because you're cruel, not because you've stopped caring, but because you've realized you cannot pour yourself empty to fill someone else's bottomless cup. So, next time the ask comes, pause, listen carefully, and remember, real help strengthens people. Fake help, it just keeps you both drowning. The dreamers who stay asleep. Let's be real. Not every dreamer deserves your help. There's a difference between someone chasing a dream and someone floating in a fantasy. Meet Chris. Chris didn't just have dreams. He had a new one every week, an app that would change the world, a book that would disrupt the system, a business idea that would blow up the market. You want to believe him. At first you do. You offer help. You connect him to people. You help shape his pitch. But soon you realize Chris isn't moving. He's circling, talking, planning, imagining, but never building. Ask for progress, and you get excuses. I'm waiting for the right timing. I'm still refining the concept. I'm almost ready to start. Almost ready forever. And here's the punchline. The longer you help, the heavier you become. Because every minute you spend pushing a lazy dreamer is a minute stolen from your own life. They're not climbing. You're dragging. They're not doing the work. You're filling in the gaps. And it doesn't stop with people like Chris. It's everywhere now. The MLM hustler who posts motivational quotes but never studies the product. The serial startup guy with endless pitch decks, but no customers. The social media visionary who talks big but delivers nothing. Here's the Stoic cut-through. Seneca said, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it." When you help someone who won't act, you're wasting your time, your most limited, non-refundable currency. And here's the danger. Helping without boundaries doesn't inspire action. It reinforces laziness. You become the fuel for their empty tank. So how do you spot a lazy dreamer? They're addicted to newness. They chase highs, but abandon hard work. They blame bad timing, bad luck, or bad people, never themselves. They collect helpers, but dodge accountability. And you slowly become part of their fantasy, stuck playing sidekick in a story that never moves forward. The sharpest move you can make: step back. Say, When you start building, I'm here. When you get real, we can talk. But until then, protect your energy, because dreams without action aren't dreams, they're distractions. And if you're not careful, you'll spend your life trying to carry someone who refuses to walk. The hidden poison: gossip, competition, and envy. Some dangers in life punch you in the face. Others smile sweetly while slipping the knife in. Let's start with Sarah. Sarah wasn't just the office gossip. She was the queen of the just so you know update, pulling you aside, whispering, "Did you hear what John said about you? I'm only telling you this because I care." At first, it feels like you're in the loop, like you're part of something special. But over time, you realize you're not in the loop. You're in the web. And it's not just office kitchens anymore. Now it's group chats, Facebook threads, TikTok comment sections, where the rumor mill never sleeps. The digital Sarahs are masters of drama, dropping comments that set fires, then watching as people burn. And the cost of helping them: you get stained by the same poison. People start to associate you with the chaos. And when the gossip runs out, they turn on you. Next, meet Adam. Adam wasn't a bad friend, at least that's what I told myself. He was ambitious, driven, and every time I shared a win, he'd say, "That's awesome. You know what I just did?" What started as inspiration turned into exhaustion. Every conversation became a race. Every achievement became a scoreboard. I shared a new job. Adam had just landed something bigger. I hit a fitness goal. He was already ahead. I mentioned travel plans. He casually dropped his 5-country tour. And it's subtle. It's not outright bragging. It's the quiet energy that turns every moment into an unspoken contest. And here's what makes it deadly: it erodes your joy. It makes you question if you're doing enough. It leaves you feeling small, no matter how hard you work. Then there's Lisa. Lisa worked with me. On the surface, she was warm, supportive, the ultimate cheerleader. "You're amazing, seriously. Wow, I'm so impressed." But behind closed doors, she was planting seeds of doubt. "I'm just worried they're overwhelmed. They're great, but maybe they're in over their head." She smiled to your face and sliced behind your back. And when I finally saw it, it hit like a gut punch, because envy rarely announces itself. It lurks, it watches, and it strikes quietly. The Stoic reminder here is sharp. Not all attacks are loud. Some wear a smile when they cut you. And the cost of helping these people? With gossip mongers, you become guilty by association. With competitive friends, you drain yourself, trying to keep up in a race you never signed up for. With envious saboteurs, you feed information that they will eventually use to pull you down. So what's the play? Step back. Get quiet. Watch the pattern, not the performance. Sarah thrives on attention. Adam thrives on comparison. Lisa thrives on insecurity. And you? You're meant to thrive on peace. The hardest but most powerful thing you can do is refuse to play their game. Because at some point, helping stops being noble and starts being self-betrayal. The Stoic way: how to help without losing yourself. Here's the paradox no one wants to face. Real kindness has limits. We're raised to believe that if you care, you give. If you're good, you help. If you love, you sacrifice. But the truth? Not every sacrifice is noble. Not every act of help is love. Stoic philosophy doesn't tell you to turn cold, to shut your heart, to become unreachable. It tells you to refine your kindness. to cut away the part that feeds your ego or feeds someone else's dependency, and leave only the part that truly lifts another human being. Because here's the trap most people fall into. They think being kind means solving other people's problems. They think being generous means carrying other people's weight. They think being good means saying yes again and again, even when it chips away at their own soul. But the Stoics? They saw through that illusion. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. You don't control who grows. You don't control who listens. You don't control whether your help changes someone's life. You control one thing, how you show up." And that's why the Stoic path isn't about walking away from kindness. It's about elevating it. It's about 3 shifts. Detach from the outcome. Help because it aligns with your values. Not because you need to be the rescuer. Your worth is not measured by how many people you save. It's measured by how consistently you show up with integrity. Hold your center. When you help, don't lose yourself in their chaos. Their crisis is not your identity. Their drama is not your mission. Be the calm in their storm, not the person drowning next to them. Be the example, not the savior. You don't need to fix anyone. You need to live in a way that shows them what's possible when you take responsibility for your own life. You want to inspire people? Stop over-functioning for them. Start thriving in front of them. And here's the razor-sharp truth. True kindness has boundaries. When you say no to the wrong people, you protect your ability to say yes to the right ones. You keep your cup full. You keep your spirit clean. You keep your energy aligned, because every time you overextend, you drain the very thing that makes you a source of light. And when you're drained, you become resentful. When you're resentful, you stop giving. When you stop giving, the world loses something beautiful. So boundaries, they're not barriers, they're bridges to deeper, wiser, more meaningful acts of love. So what does this look like in real life? It's telling your friend, who's been spiraling in the same crisis for months, "I love you, and I know you're strong enough to face this." It's telling your coworker, who keeps piling work on your desk, "I'm maxed out, but I can help you prioritize." It's telling yourself, "I am responsible for protecting the part of me that gives with an open heart." Marcus Aurelius also said, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be one." And sometimes being good means knowing when to stop. Here's the beautiful irony. When you step back from the people who only want to take, you open space for the people who are ready to rise. Your kindness becomes sharper, your impact becomes deeper, your presence becomes stronger. You stop drowning yourself in trying to rescue the unready, and you start becoming the quiet, steady lighthouse. For those ready to swim, that's not abandonment. That's wisdom. That's not selfishness. That's maturity. That's not coldness. That's fierce, intentional love. The lighthouse, not the lifeboat. Here's what I want you to carry with you. Long after this video ends, you are not here to rescue everyone. You are not here to be the lifeboat that people climb onto while they refuse to swim. You are here to be a lighthouse, steady, grounded, untouchable. You are here to shine, to stand in your strength, to light the way, and let people choose whether they rise or stay. Because at the end of the day, you cannot swim for someone who's determined to sink. You cannot save someone who's in love with their own chaos. What you can do, what you must do, is protect your own peace so you have the strength to be a force of good where it actually matters. So here's what I want to hear from you. Tell me in the comments, have you ever had to walk away from helping someone? What happened, and what did you learn? Your story could be the exact thing someone else needs to hear today. And as you walk forward from this video, let these words settle in your bones. You don't need permission to protect your peace. You don't need applause to shine. And you never owe anyone your self-destruction in the name of kindness. Keep your heart open, keep your mind clear, and most of all, keep shining for the people who are ready to walk toward the light.